Happy 4th of July, and welcome to today's review of my Ukadelic by Acappella Stars and Stripes Soprano. A little bit about this instrument. A few years ago, I was at a music education conference in Minnesota, and it was out on a table as part of a music store's display. And I knew the owner of that store. So at the end of the conference on Saturday before they packed up, I asked how much they would sell it to me for, and they gave it to me out the door at $50, including tax. So it was a little bit cheaper than the going rate at the time. Now, the Ukadelics that you can buy today are not the same. I think they actually still sell a Stars and Stripes print, but in the past, 2017 I think is when this happened, Acappella decided to make the Ukadelics out of Waterman ukuleles instead, which are all plastic. This is like the Dolphin or like the Shark that has a solid wood top and then ABS back, sides, still a wood neck, and still a wood fretboard, still a wooden bridge. So these are no longer made, although you can certainly find Ukadelics. But if you're going to buy a Ukadelic, make sure that you're trying to find one with the wood top versus the one with the plastic, all plastic, unless that's what you want. Don't be confused when you buy it. So in other words, when you do a review of this instrument, it's basically a review of the Soprano Shark or the Soprano Dolphin, which I believe they have concert size in both of those, but they don't anymore. They never actually had a concert size with the Ukadelic in this fashion. It has a slightly rounded back too, an arched back, which helps project the sound a little bit. So I think this instrument as a whole, it's not an expensive instrument. Even the Dolphins and so forth aren't really expensive. They're not free, but in general, I think you're getting good value for the price. So I think you're right at the spot where the price meets the value. The build quality is generally pretty good. There were some splotchy paint areas on this one. I don't even know if it'll pick it up, but there's some now I can't get the right angle with the light, but there's some weird splotchy paint issues down here on the neck. And when I look inside up the top, there's a big glob of glue that leaked through when they attached the neck to the body. So I mean, again, am I going to see that when I'm playing it? No, but if you're being a judge of actual build quality, it does impact it a little bit. I think the appearance of these are really cool. It's why I wanted one. I didn't really want to buy a Dolphin or a Shark at the time. And here's finally kind of some wisdom for you. I've decided how many ukuleles a person needs, and the answer is 365. And the reason for that is so you can have one ukulele for every day of the year. And I joke about this, but it's pretty much true. The one day a year that I play this ukulele for sure is on July 4th, although I could pull it out for some of our other holidays in our country, such as Veterans Day, Memorial Day, and so forth. Availability, you can find these, and you can find the other Ukadelics just like them, but you have to make sure that they have the wood top. Okay. Sound quality, I think that for a laminate instrument, these sound pretty good. Now, this one doesn't for some reason play completely in tune, and I'm not totally sure why, but I just deal with it. It's not a big deal, and there are lots and lots and lots of ukuleles that don't quite play in tune. I'm not going to spend money to have it sorted out by a luthier to figure out what's going on. The action is nice and low, so it's not the strings bending out of stretch. I don't know. Eventually, maybe another string change could help. I did notice, however, that when I replaced the strings from, I think they came with Acappellas, and nothing wrong with Acappellas, but I'm a fluorocarbon guy. I just like how they sound. I like how they feel. I thought that it brightened up this instrument quite a bit. So I think it's got a good sound for a laminate instrument. It's, even though it plays slightly out of tune, and you'll hear that later, it's loud-ish, and it's also got some very dark qualities. So before I go to some other specs, let me just play a little bit on here and you can hear what I'm talking about. So let's talk about some of the nitty-gritty specs of this. It's a soprano instrument. Scale length is from nut to saddle is 13.5 inches, like you would generally expect. It's a 12-fret soprano. So if you're playing music that has it written for above the 12th fret, probably not the instrument for you. It does come with painted side marker dots, and I don't think they're going to wear off because they haven't. The body style is a standard double bout, traditional shape. The wood top, I had to look it up online. It's a laminate, and it's listed as kauri somewhere. Not even quite sure what that wood is. The body and sides are made of ABS with that nice arched back, which I think helps with that punchy sound. The fretboard on this one is rosewood. If you buy a Dolphin today, they're going to be made out of walnut, and the bridge is made out of walnut, and the nut and the saddle are plastic. They're not Graph-Tack or anything else like that. There's no radius bridge, just straight flat, and the satin is a finish with that. It's a satin finish, with a printed American flag icon on the front of it. Overall length 21.25 inches, weighing in at 1 pound 2.4 ounces, and it feels heavier than it is. It's well balanced, but it feels heavier than it is. Some of my other ukuleles feel lighter, even though they weigh more. I'm not sure why that is. General inexpensive Kala open geared tuners that you'll find on every Acappella instrument, all the entry level Kalas, and of course the Ukadelics as well. Now again, I've messed around with this one with action, but action at the first fret is less than 0.5 millimeters, and at the 12th fret it is 2 millimeters. So it's very low action right now, and that's still not helping intonation any. The nut width is 34.65 millimeters, which is a little smaller than the standard 35. Now, I think you'd still call it a 35 millimeter nut, but it's, by actual measurement, is smaller than that. However, the space between the strings are 8.55 millimeters each, so they are spaced out pretty well, but it gives you a very little amount of space on the side of the fretboards for those last two strings, and I don't really think that's going to cause you an issue, but just so you're aware of it. And the depth on the neck at the 3rd fret is 21.39 millimeters. It's kind of a chunkier, again, C-shape or D-shape sort of neck, which is pretty standard with many of Kala's instrument. Doesn't come with any accessories, and if you're interested in some other reviews, check out Barry Maz's written reviews. I think he might even have a video somewhere of the Dolphin, which would be generally the same instrument as this. So, in summary, Kala took their successful Dolphin and said, let's do something fun with it. Started making some neat prints. There's a bunch of them that were around at the time, and adding graphics to it. Again, I suggest a string change just because I liked how it sounded, kind of brightened it up. It was really originally a very dark instrument, and it lightened up with the Martin strings, I felt. Again, that's all personal. It's loud, but mine also plays a little bit out of tune, which I'm willing to deal with for 1 day or 2 or 3 days a year. So I would give this ukulele out of 5 stars. I'm kind of torn between giving it 2.5 stars, which would be the same as the Baoli plastic ukulele, and 3 stars because it's overall a better ukulele, even though it plays slightly out of tune. So I think I'm just going to go with the 3 stars out of 5 category, especially when you consider the value that you're getting for the money and the solid build, even though there are a couple little glitches here or there. So that is my Ukadelic by Kala Stars and Stripes Soprano on this July 4th. Again, a very happy July 4th to you, anybody in the United States that celebrates that day. And thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.